Alright guys, so the beginning of this video is going to be a spoiler-free discussion of the first two episodes of Daredevil Born Again, and then I will go into a spoilery discussion of those first two episodes. But I guess I'll start off by saying, or answering the question of, do you need to watch the first three seasons of Daredevil, the Netflix show, in order to understand Daredevil Born Again? The answer is kinda. I mean, here's the reality. There are people that watch the Avengers movies and don't watch all the other ancillary movies. Do I think you're a weirdo if you watch Infinity War without watching Civil War, where like you don't understand the fallout between Steve and Tony? Like, yeah, I think you are kind of a freak if you watch Infinity War and you like it despite not having any context for anything that's happening. But those people exist. So, I mean, it very much is a similar situation here with Born Again, where it's like, yeah, like you could probably watch it and think that it's a solid show, but like, are you really going to get all of the emotions out of it if you haven't seen the Netflix show? No, you're not. Um, the other thing that I've seen a lot of people saying is that, oh my god, it feels just like the Netflix show. Disney Plus nailed it. And not really. Like, it doesn't have that very specific, like, neo-noir feel. It's like the original Daredevil series was like a neo-noir crime drama, in terms of its cinematography especially. Daredevil Born Again is not that. It's like, visually, it's completely different. Tonally, it almost feels like House of Cards. I feel like, especially when you get into the like political angle of everything that's going on. It's like it's not the Netflix show at all. Just to be clear, that's not a bad thing. I guess I'll give my overall thoughts on it. I loved it. It is not the Netflix show. It is very different. It is very much its own thing, and I'm okay with that. It's not the Netflix show. It is its own show. It is in the same continuity, but they're not just trying to copy it. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate, an X-Men 97, which is literally trying to feel exactly like the original animated series. So if they had gone in that sort of direction and just did a proper continuation of the show, I would have been pleased with that probably. But I can also respect what they're doing here, where it's just very different. I mean, it's like in so many ways, like visually, like I said, but even in terms of like specific choices of, they used licensed music in this show. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they ever used licensed music in the original Daredevil series. Yeah, so I don't really agree that it's the same as the Netflix series. I think, if in a very simplistic way, if you want to say that it's just brutal and dark and gritty or whatever, sure, right? Like the show is very violent, but I feel like that's about it. I gotta say, man, watching this after Captain America: Brave New World is like kind of a whiplash, because I thought that Captain America: Brave New World was just very upsetting to me because of just how cucked that movie felt, where it felt like just a very sanitized, just totally stripped down thing that just was doing its absolute best to not say anything about anything. It was trying to not offend people. It was doing everything it could to avoid being political. It was not allowing the director Julius Ona to have any kind of creative vision. I just thought that Brave New World was just such a disservice to Captain America. I thought it was such a disservice to Sam Wilson, especially it was a disservice to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, quite frankly. And to then right after that get Daredevil Born Again, which is the complete opposite. Like, it is a show that feels like it was made by an artist, right? Whereas so much of MCU cinematography, whether it be Captain America: Brave New World, whether it be, Deadpool and Wolverine, just some MCU cinematography lately is so stale and bland and bleh. And Daredevil Born Again has intentional shots, intentional focusing, intentional sound design. Like, it uses the medium of film to actually tell its story. Like, the best looking MCU project, honestly, maybe ever. If I really sit down and think about it, it honestly might be the best looking MCU thing ever. Just in terms of consistently creative shots that are used to service the story. Performances, they're phenomenal. Like, Charlie Cox is so good as Matt Murdock. He really is one of the all-time great superhero castings. Like, honestly, I would put him up there with, like, Robert Downey Jr. and, Heath Ledger and whatnot. Same goes for Wilson Fisk. He's absolutely fantastic. But, the performances are all great. I mentioned, the brutality of it, and yeah, it's here, and it's great. The fights are really good. They have similar choreography, I would say, to the Netflix show. You have the whole, like, long takes and whatnot. You have the whole, like, Daredevil is fighting and he's getting tired, and the people that he's fighting are getting tired, and it's similar stuff. Loved it before. I love it now. But yeah, I think just to wrap up my spoiler-free thoughts here, it's like, it's great. It is like the original Netflix series in the sense that in this just like glut of soulless MCU content, of soulless just comic book movie content, soulless blockbuster content, just to be frank, having a show that is so artistically driven, that is not afraid to say things like I guess I didn't explicitly say it before, but it's like, this show is political. Like, when I said that it feels like House of Cards, it's because it's like it gets into politics. There are allegories to things that are happening right now today, and it's not afraid to do it. So like, it feels like a show that has a voice, that has a perspective. It just feels like a piece of art. That's all that I can ask for. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's get into some more spoilery stuff. So, we of course get our momentary and brief reunion with Karen and Foggy. And actually, on this, it's kind of interesting because the rumored plot of this show was always that Karen and Foggy were not going to be in it, and that it was going to be essentially a reboot where they were going to say that the Netflix series was not canon to the MCU, and so, but they're still weirdly going to bring back Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. They ended up changing their minds about that, where they're like, the Netflix shows are actually canon to the MCU. We are bringing Karen and Foggy back. But it seems like they're still largely sticking to the original plot, because I don't know, like, it seems like Karen and Foggy are not going to be in the rest of the show, but definitely Foggy won't be. But it's weird because they introduce all those other new characters, so I don't know. We'll see. Karen might still be in the show, but it seems like they didn't change the plot so much as they just executed it better. Like, I think the main problem with the original version of the series was just that it was executed like a mid Disney Plus show. And so they decided to retool it to just actually have it be good, I guess. But we'll see. They toy around with Karen and Matt's relationship here. I'm going to be honest, I've been trying to rewatch Daredevil before this, but I only got to like Daredevil season 2 episode 11. I was hoping to watch seasons 1, 2, The Defenders, and then season 3. So I am trying to remember if, like, where exactly Karen and Matt left off with each other in season 3. I don't think that they were together at the end of season 3, so presumably they were considering getting back together at the start of the show. We also get introduced to what's her face? I don't remember. Miranda? No. Anyways, this is like Matt's new partner at his law firm. I like her. You know, they haven't really done much with her dramatically. Like she's not really that relevant to the plot thus far. But I really like the actress that's playing her, and I like the character. So we'll see if they do something interesting with her in the future. But I mean, if she is just kind of like the side, almost comic relief character, I like her so far. Actually, one complaint that I will give the show is that, well, I think it generally looks great. There is some weird CGI stuff. Like, I don't show videos in my reviews, but this like superhero landing here is just like obviously CGI, and it does just look a little weird. There was also like a scene where Daredevil is running across rooftops, and it's like it's just a CGI man. It's not a real man doing hardcore parkour, and I'm like, I don't love that, but you know, that's not that big of a deal. I really like the way that they visualize Matt's hearing. Honestly, I actually think that this is an improvement over the Netflix show, where it's like whenever he's like focusing on something with his hearing, it's like the camera actually like moves around and focuses in on certain things, and it's really cool. I actually really like it. Again, I haven't rewatched season 3, so it's like I kind of don't remember what exactly was going on with Bullseye by the end of it. Like, does he know who Matt Murdock is, who Daredevil is? Did he specifically have a beef with Foggy? Is that why he shot Foggy but not Karen? Did he only shoot Foggy because he was trying to make Matt suffer? I don't actually remember. By the way, I do plan on continuing to rewatch Daredevil, so hopefully I can catch up again, at least before episode 3. But we'll see what I end up being able to do. And yeah, we get the Wonder in the first episode, which I think is the first time that's happened. It was great. You know, I was actually watching an interview with the directors of this episode, and they were talking about how they really studied the Wonder from season 3. And that is very apparent in this episode, because what makes that Wonder in season 3 so great is that not only is it just like a very impressive one-shot fight scene in terms of the choreography and stuff, but the way that it like goes from action to dialogue, right? Like dialogue between Matt and the prisoner that's actually like progressing the story and serving a narrative purpose. Then back to action. I remember seeing that going like, damn, that's incredible. And then in this show, they kind of top that, where it's like you get the action between Matt and Bullseye, and then it cuts to like civilians trying to like running around, exiting the building, cuts back to, or when I say cut, I should mean the camera pans back to Bullseye and Daredevil fighting, and then the camera pans to like Karen and Foggy, and then it pans back to Bullseye, pans back to Karen screaming. It's like they took the right lessons from the season 3 hallway fight, where they really incorporated not just cool action, but like dramatic emotional narrative, which is honestly neither of the Wonders in the Netflix series managed to do to this extent, which very impressive for the show to just like start off with a bang like that. I will say, so fun fact actually, the one shot or the Wonder in episode or in season 1 of Daredevil, I don't think it was actually done in one shot. I believe that there are cuts in there. They're just invisible. That's also the case with season 2, I believe. Season 3, that was actually done in one shot, like actually, which is really impressive, because that, I think that goes on for like 11 minutes, which is like insane. This one in Born Again, I don't think it was done in one shot. Like there's just a lot of CGI in it that makes me think that no, I there's no way. I don't think so. I'd be happy to be proven wrong, but I highly doubt it. But no, it was still really great, really good stuff. And yeah, like, dude, Charlie Cox is so good in that scene. He's so good, especially like at the end when, you know, he just like screams. He's like holding Bullseye, and he's just so good in this show, man. But yeah, we get the incredibly impactful moment where Daredevil tries to kill Bullseye. You know, he says in the trailer that a line was crossed, and that's why he stopped being Daredevil. And I believe this is the moment, right, when he tries to kill Bullseye. Even though he doesn't succeed, he still tries to do it, which is him crossing the line that he can never really come back from. So really, really good stuff here. You know, we then cut to Matt not having been Daredevil for a year, and we see him being like an actual successful lawyer with money and success, which is very funny. We also see Fisk. I will say, listen, I've watched all of the MCU, you know, Disney Plus shows. So like I watched Hawkeye and I watched Echo. Low key, I don't remember the particulars of of Kingpin's journey, because it's like, I think at the end of season 3 he's going to prison, but then why is he not in prison in Hawkeye? I don't remember. And then he got shot by Echo in the eyeball, but then in Echo they explain how he got fixed, but I don't remember how. And like, picking up for where we left off with Matt in, you know, She-Hulk, like, that makes sense, you know what I mean? But I don't know, seeing like picking up with Kingpin is just like not I should be clear. At the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it doesn't bring down the show for me. I just mean that it's like it took a little adjusting for me to really get into Kingpin's story. Because yeah, it's also just like off-screen character development where it's like, so I guess all throughout everything that we've seen with Kingpin, Vanessa wasn't with him. Like, okay, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully as we get further in the season, I may allow to let myself be engrossed a little bit more with Kingpin and Vanessa's like troubled relationship. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I gotta say, I really love the way that this show really immerses you in the community of New York, where like you have all the like community member interviews, which I thought was really effective. I also just like the way that again, the show just feels different from Netflix, where it's like they're constantly cutting to civilians just kind of like doing things, casually existing, and the show just does a really nice job of making New York feel like a community that you're a part of. Yeah, just good stuff overall. Yeah, this scene again, interesting. Really great acting and performances from Charlie Cox and Deborah Ann Wall, but it's like, it seems like they're writing Karen out of the show. Again, she very well might come back. But it seems like they are. I think I'm right. I think that this is, generally speaking, the plot of the original version of the show. I don't think they really changed the plot that much. I think they just like redid it to at least have a see Foggy dying, and then just executing the show better in general. So I guess we don't know the actual truth of it, but that's what I think. Another interesting thing about the show is that they're not really shy about Fisk being a Trump allegory here, where it's like there's the whole thing of like, you know, the professionals not really knowing or not thinking, or thinking that this election cycle isn't normal because there was like a comedian running and like nobody thought Fisk realistically had a chance to win. They talk a lot about how Fisk is a criminal and people are voting for him anyways, and you hear like the civilians' reasons for voting for him, and they're like, we just want something different and stuff like that. He has that political aide or advisor lady that's like constantly suggesting that he do like the normal politics thing, and then you see him subverting that and finding success. Kingpin is very much a Trump allegory. And I think it's well done so far. I think there is obviously a way for that or there are ways that could have felt ham-fisted. And I don't know, I actually I've avoided the online discourse for this. I just trying to, make my review fresh. But I don't know. I think it's well written. But again, it's also not subtle, right? Like this guy, this character, is very much like a kind of like a, your Trump supporter, where he was like, they asked him, where he was like, hey, why are you voting for Fisk? And he was like, the memes were great, bro. I love the memes. It's like a, yeah, it's a lot of Trump's fandom, And I was just like, listen, I don't usually get political on this channel, but I mean that is just kind of my perspective. So, anyways, we also meet a new love interest, which I did not get the picture of. Give me one moment. Yeah, we have a new love interest for Matt. Again, I am bad with names, so I don't remember her name. It's not because she's a bad character. It's because I'm bad with names. I liked her quite a bit, actually. But they still haven't done too much with her. I mean, they do establish her as being Fisk and Vanessa's psychiatrist, which I think will lead to more interesting storylines with her in the future. It's actually, I'm wondering if Fisk chose her specifically because she's in a relationship with Matt. Like, is Fisk spying on Matt? I wonder if they'll reveal that in the future at some point. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with her. I like this guy. Again, I also don't remember his name, but I like that he's kind of Matt's sidekick in some sense. Yeah, I don't know. He's a cool guy. Really great diner scene between Matt and Fisk. Very interesting, because there was like that interview with the showrunner where he was talking about how, like, the original show was at its worst when it was just two people in a room talking about what it means to be a superhero. And I remember a lot of us heard that and we were like, sir, that's literally what makes Daredevil so great, right? Like, the best scene in the show is probably, Punisher and Daredevil debating on a rooftop like about what it means to be a hero. And I don't know, the quote is just weird because this scene is literally Fisk and King and Matt in a diner talking about what it means to be a superhero. But no, it's great dialogue, great performances by Charlie and Vincent. Just very good stuff all around. Basically amounts to Daredevil being like, I got my eyes on you, Fisk, and then Fisk is also like, nah, I have my eye on you, Matthew. So kind of funny. Yeah, then we also got to see the White Tiger in the second episode. Yeah, really interesting storyline where we have corrupt cops again, very Daredevil thing. You always got to have corrupt cops. But yeah, he breaks up the fight between them, and then it leads to one of the cops dying, and it's like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs, this guy is about to get just absolutely demolished by the system. But yeah, he ends up getting roughed around by the cops, and then Matt hears it, and again, very Daredevil thing where he's like, this guy is being unfairly treated, I will represent him. So I do like that, even though he's abandoned his Daredevil ways and his partner died, I like that he's still keeping up sort of that philosophy of actually helping innocent people as a lawyer. So And he's somehow getting paid while he's also doing that. So that's nice, I guess. You know what? I will say, Fisk actually does good in his city. Pretty big pothole here, but he does indeed repair it. I feel like this would have been a kind of a fun opportunity for them to be like, this was when... I'm trying to think of a superhero. I don't know. This was when a superhero did this. This was when Spider-Man fought the Scorpion. That's what caused this massive hole. I don't know, I feel like that could have been like a fun like nod to the larger MCU universe. There was actually a reference to Spider-Man in one of the episodes, but I don't know. But I maybe they did mention that where this hole came from. I don't remember, or I didn't notice. But either way, Fisk fixing potholes. Listen, this is where the Trump allegory breaks, because Trump has never done anything that helpful in his presidency. I'll tell you what, if Trump fixed all the potholes on my streets, boy, listen, you can do all of the insurrections that you want, brother. Okay, you want to have Putin's cock just like permanently lodged down your throat? Hey, you fix the potholes on my street, I won't judge you. So get to it, Trump. We also meet Ben Urich's niece. I'm not too sure what to think of her yet. Well, I'll see how they handle her throughout the rest of the season, but I like the actress so far. I think she's pretty good in it, but I don't know. I have to wait until see more of her before I can render an opinion. I'm actually not sure. Does she know that Fisk, unalived her uncle? It was her uncle, right? I think. Or was it her grandpa? Who knows? I don't remember, actually. Because, Urich was old in the Netflix show. Who knows? Not me. Anyways. But yeah, does she know that Fisk killed him? Because there was she felt very nervous interviewing him. So I feel like she knew that she was confronting Fisk in some way. I don't know, but we'll see where that relationship goes. Prediction time. I think this guy's Muse. I don't know. They just focused on him for a weird amount of time. I think this guy's Muse, because I don't know anything about Muse, but judging by the trailer, it seems like he's a smaller guy. He's kind of like a little freak. This guy looks like a little freak. I'm just connecting dots. You know what I mean? I like seeing Fisk play politics, where the police chief is like, "Screw you, Fisk. You're cringe. I will not. I will resign and you will be in disgrace, and I'm gonna take a bunch of cops with me." And then Fisk was like, "I know you cheated on your wife. Checkmate, bitch." And he was like, "Fine. I will not resign because I don't want it out that I cheated on my wife." He has a whole other ass kid, which, you know what, dude? Why'd you do that? Now you no longer have the moral high ground against this criminal. I like seeing the white tiger suit. I also like that, this show is generally pretty grounded, but it does exist in the MCU universe. And so White Tiger does have just a magic amulet that gives him white tiger powers. Although, to be fair, the season 2 definitely got fantastical as well, with undead ninjas. So, to be fair, it's not even out of the ordinary for Daredevil to be completely clear. He was also in the Defenders, so who are we kidding? One scene that I actually kind of didn't like was Matt outing White Tiger, seemingly. I'm assuming he's going to the judge with the information that the guy is White Tiger. What's the deal with that, Matthew? Do you not have any kind... do you not have, what's the word I'm looking for? like, as a fellow vigilante yourself, do you not feel any kinship? Do you not feel any obligation to keep the secret, Matthew? I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird that he would just out his identity like that. But either way, the last notable thing is just that Matthew let the devil out at the end of episode 2. I'm assuming he didn't kill the 2 cops, but like, it feels like what he did to them would have killed them. Especially like that last guy, when he like fucking slams him on the ground and his neck is just like. I mean, I don't know, like, I'm guessing he wouldn't do that, but kind of seems like he did. I don't know. We'll see. They'll officially confirm it in the next episode, but it is interesting because if he didn't kill them, then they just got their asses beat by a blind man, so they're going to suspect stuff. And then if he did kill them, then he's going to have to, I don't know. I guess, like, bury bodies, and then I don't know, like, will his police friend even go along with that? I don't think he killed him. I'm just gonna be honest. I highly doubt it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what his cover-up story is, and then it'll be interesting to see how the cops handle that. Also, who the cops are working for, because it's like, I don't think they're working for Fisk. They had like a Punisher tattoo on them, actually. I forgot to get a picture of it, but they had like a Punisher tattoo on their arms. So I wonder if they're with some kind of organization, because I think there's a storyline in the comics, I think, right, where some of the cops, I think there were like a group of cops that had like Punisher logos on them. And they were maybe like corrupt or something, and so the Punisher didn't like that. And so I wonder if that's how the Punisher is going to get weaved into the show. If there's like a segment of the police force that are like misusing the Punisher symbol. I think that might be where they're going with that. So we shall see. But either way, if you enjoyed Daredevil Born Again, or if you didn't enjoy Daredevil Born Again, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.